दिनाङ्कः चतुर्थः दिनाङ्कः 4th of May सायंकालः व्याकरणभागः द्वन्द्वसमासप्रकरणम् मङ्गलाचरणं रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमो रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तले सदा भूतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन उन्नमेति अथ श्री माहेश्वर सूत्राणि अ इ उन् रुल रुक ए ओंग आई औच हय वरट लण्य ञ म ङ न नम ज भञ् घडदश जब घडदश ख फ छ ठ थ च ट थव क पै श ष सर हल इति माहेश्वर सूत्राणि. Okay, last time we were just talking about this. We are on this page number you see on your screen. Page number is 120, and we are in this bottom part. We are in number 184, and we are just finished up number 1 last time, which was this one single sutram in the samasanta section. Samasantaha. To refresh your memory, when you do samasa, we look at these two sections, samasanta pratyaha, and those start from 5468, samasantaha. And then there was one sutram that's specifically for dvandva samasa, is only one, and that one is the 54106, which you saw last time, dvandva chudashahantat samahare. So if you have only in samahare, samahara dvandva only if you have, if ending in the cha varga, chu, and the dakara, mudhanya shakara, athva hakaranta, you get the 5-4, so 5-4-1-6, you get the hakara as the samas and the pratya over there. Let me give you the vritti for that. Give me 1 second. Vritti for that. Okay. Okay. All right. So 5-4-1-6, 5-4-1-6, 5-4-1-6. Okay, 5-4-1-6. I installed this new version of Firefox and it's not working. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can make it work. Okay, 5-4-1-6, 5-4-1-6. Okay. Okay. So it is dvandvat cha vargantat dakarantat shakarantat hakarantat cha tashpatya bhavati sache dvandvah samahare vartate. So this is samahare vartate. So tvakcha vakcha tvakcha vak tvacham. So this is pratya, touch pratya is coming, samasanta pratya is coming in this only following a samahara dvandvah is ending in the cha varga or the dakara or the murdhanya shakara or hakara. So that's what we saw last time. Now then we went on to this interesting, the longest sutram in the Ashtadhyayi, Dirghatamam Sutram Ashtadhyayam, which is Panchamasya Adhyayasya Chaturthe Pade Sapta Saptatitamam Sutram. Sapta Saptatitamam Sutram. Sapta Saptatitamam 77. So there we see this long sutram which talks about many kinds of compounds, which is, if you can get your screen over here for you. Okay. Achatura, Vichatura, Suchatura, Stri Pumsa, Dhenmanaduha, Ruksama, Vang Manasa, Akshibhruva, Dar, Gava, Urvashtiva, Padashtiva, Naptandiva, then comes Ratrindiva, Ahardiva, Sarajasa, Nishrayasa, Purushayusha. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Purushayusha, Divayusha, Triyayusha, Rigyayusha, Jatoksha, Mahoksha, Vruddhoksha, Upashuna, Goshtashvaha. So one more time, this is a list of many compounds. And to look at the vritti of that, what are we looking at now? This is a samasanta vidhi again. And this is talking about the pratyaya ach. So all these ready-made compounds are given to us by Panini, which a form which are ending in the ach pratyaya. So I am trying to show the vritti of that one. Okay, let me see. Okay, 5477. Let's try that. 5477. Okay, 5477. This is how the vritti goes. 5477 comes as okay. Ach pratyayantaha ete shabdaha nipatyante. Samasa vyavastha api nipatanad eva pratipattavya. So these are all ending in the pratyaya ach pratyaha. And then there's also some extra operations are being prescribed irregularly. Samasa vyavastha api nipatanad eva pratipattavya is what it is saying. Then it goes in the commentary of this, which is the adyastrayaha bahuvrihayaha. These first three compounds, achatura, vichatura, suchatura, they are bahuvrihi compounds. And then after that comes then 11. Then ataha pare ekadasha dvandvaha. There are 11 dvandva compounds. That's basically what we are going to be focusing on today. These dvandva compounds. Stri pumsa, dhenvanaduha, riksama, vangmanasa, akshibhruva, dar, gava, urvashchiva, padashchiva, naptandiva, ratrindiva, ahardiva. So these, okay? So let's count them now. We got Stri Pumsa, that's 1, Dhenvanaduha, 2nd, Riksama, 3rd, Vangmanasa, 4, Akshibhruva, 5, Daragava, 6, Urvashchiva, 7, Padashchiva, 8, Naptandiva, 9, Ratrindiva, 10, Ahardiva, 11. Okay? So these are the Dvandva Samasas which are irregularly formed, or there are some special operations, extra operations which are being given, and they are all ending the pratyaya ach. So going back to our document now, we started last time looking at the book also. Book gives naktan diva, naktancha divacha, naktancha divacha is what the book is giving, naktancha divacha. Now the first thing is that naktam is an avyayam, is a mantam avyayam, and diva also is a akarantam avyayam. So naktam means really by day, by night and by day. So first of all, this, of course, to form a dvandva compound, we have only one sutram, which is charte dvandva sutram, which we have. Now that requires, basic saptavachi pratipadikam. It has to be a pratipadikam, which is like an item, a substance, something which is a noun. Now these two, which is naktam and diva, they're already expressing a saptami adhikaranam. So naktam means by night, diva means by day. So technically speaking, we cannot even use this 229 to form a dvandva samasa. So that is why Panini has given us these ready-made forms, so that we have to accept it that this, even if we could not use charte dvandvaha, we can form this compound and from these two avyaye, which are talking about really a saptami. At that time, this compound can be formed. So let me try to, if I can get to this, let's see what Kaumudi says, if I can read it out to you quickly, give some comments. What comment is this saptam? Naptancha divacha naktan divam, and ratrim annicha divacha. And naktan divam, let's see, naktan divam, nishrayasam. In fact, I think there's a good comment on this on the Padamanjari. Let's see. Naktan divam, ratrin divam. Saptamyarthe vrittayoho avajavayoho. So these are two in the saptamyarthe vrittayoho avyaya or avayava avyayayoho samasopi nipatanad eva charthena yoga bhavat. So these are is the meaning of saptami. So we cannot really connect with this charte dvandvaha. But because charte dvandvaha means, one thing and another thing, So it has to be a physical item. It can be like, rasa, rupa, or whatever. So, but it's not it's a su plus su, not saptami plus saptami. So when you do a vigraha vakyam of a dvandva samasaha, you will have the Prathama Vibhakti in the Vigraha Vakya. Like this, Ramascha Lakshmanascha, Ramasu plus Lakshmanasu, and so on. But here what we really have is that we have this Avyayam in the sense of Saptami. But anyway, so that is why Panini has done the Nipatanam. So we can accept this as a ready-made form. Now, what is happening here? We already did in the last class, towards the end, very end, we started this Naktan, Diva, Ach. So Naktam and Diva, because they both have the Avyaya Sanya, we get, of course, get Avyayad of Supaha. Avyayad of Supaha, they're already their Supratyaya default has gone away. So Avyayad of Supaha. So we don't have to put it over there. So I already put that over here. So Naktan, Diva, that was the compound, and then we got the Ach Pratyaya. After we formed the compound, we formed the Ach. So this is Nipatanad. Nipatanad eva samasaha. Nipatanad eva samasaha. So this is not using 229 as such. It could not use. By 5477, so 5477 is not only prescribing the Ach Pratyaya at the end, also giving us authority to form this compound. Okay, so now comes, of course, the Angam is Naktan Diva. For the Pratyaya Ach, the Angam is Naktan Diva. Angam gets the Vasanya va Yachibham. Yachibham, of course, Anuvritti of Swadishva Sarvanamasthane Yachibham. Yachibham. So Angam gets the Vasanya. Now, after that, Yas Cheti Cha. I think these two rules should be familiar to you by now, but we'll repeat. Of course, the Vasanya is very well known to you. Again, I keep on repeating this, but I hope all of you are following the examples coming to you every day on the mailing list, on the Saturday email list. So the Bhasanya has been reviewed many times. So Yachibham, Swadishva Suranamasthani, Yachibham. So the Swadi Pratyaya start from 412 Su Aujas, and they go up to the end of the fifth chapter. So right now we are using 5477. So that Pratyaya Ach, which is being prescribed 5477, is also Swadi Pratyaya. It begins with a, of course, in the Ach Pratyaya, Halantyam Anubandha Lope, Akara Vashishyate, Ajadi Pratyaya, Angam Gashta Bhasanya. So that's going to be this one, 5477 is in the section of Swadi. Swadi goes to the end of chapter 5. And once you get the Bhasanya, of course, you will go to the section of Bhasyadhikaraha, and there we see the Sutram Yascheti Cha. Sutram says that Ivarnantasya Bhasanyakasya Lopo Bhavati Tadhite Ikare Chapare. So this is a Sutram which says if your Angam has the Bhasanya, and then if you have a it's ending in the Avarna or the Ivarna, and followed by Pratyaya, which is the Tadhita or the Stri Pratyaya Ikaraha. In that case, the Angam takes Lopaha, means Alontyasya. So what we have right now is we have this Angam, Naktan Diva, ending in the Avarna, for it has the Bhasanya. So by then, Yascheti Cha, we do the Alontyasya Lopaha, which is the Akar Lopaha. So far, so good. So we got the Vasanya. By the way, the 64148 is a very important sutram. It's a very important sutram. I cannot emphasize to you how important it is. It's a very important sutram. So that sutram should be very well memorized by you at all times. It comes in, it has many applications, number of places it applies. So please make a note of it and please use it. Okay, so yes, Cheti is a sutram. Now, at this point comes a question which, to be honest with you, I don't have the good answer. I'll tell you why. This one, I can maybe show you. This form Naktan Diva is given in the Sutram itself, which we just saw. 5477, we just saw that Panini himself gives the form Naktan Diva. So Tatra Vivada Nasi. There's no Vivada there. So we can, your Naktan Diva is already given to us as a ready-made form. Now, the question is that if you look at the Kashika, it says that Naktancha, if I look at Kaumudi also, Naktancha Divasha Naktan Divam. So we need to get when we at the end, Naktan Divam. So when you take, so far we form Naktan Diva. If you take Naktan Diva, of course you get the Monuswaraha, so this is Padan Sanya, and then, Anuswar Sri Parasavarnaha, so all that good things we can do. So because the Naktam has the Padasanya because in Avyayam, Avyalapsupaha. So the Sup went away, Supting Antam Padam, Mo Nuswaraha. We can do that, Anuswara. That's all going to come in the Tripadi section. So let's finish this Sapadi Vibhaga first and see what we can do. And then we get Anuswarasya Parasavaranaha Vapadantasya. So that is fine. So both Kashika and Kaumudi are confirming two things. This is a Dvandva Sama. In fact, Mahabhashyam also. The Mahabhashyam also, I spent about 2 hours yesterday on this. I went through all the books that I have and tried to find a satisfactory answer, but I'm not able to find. I think I know what the answer is, but I'll tell you what the problem is. So anyway, this Vigraha Vakyam is clearly given in the Kashika. Naktan Chadivasa Naktan Divam. The Kaumudi gives Parasavarana Naktan Divam. So this is, let me put that one here. Let's look at those things which we know are non-controversial. And that is this much, which is the Vigraha Vakyam, which is Naktancha Divacha, and the form is Naktan Divam. Naktan Divam, that's in Kashika, or you can do the Parasavaranaha, Naktan Divam. So this is clear. Now what we have is that we have Naktan Diva so far. We had the Pratyaya Ach, and the Sutram already gave us Naktan Diva as the form, so that part also is clear. Now what we do need to get is we need to get this at the end. Of course we need to get the at the end because Naktan Diva already is given to us. Okay. Remember this is a Dvandva Samasaha. Now the biggest problem comes here is that the Balamanorama Tika, the Tika Balamanorama, let me see if I can show it to you. Give me 1 second if I can show it to you. Unfortunately, Kalpesh is asking me, are you able to check the Kashika examples book that you have? No, that book will not give me that one. Okay, let me see. Kalpesh, are you there? My Mozilla is not working, Kalpesh. Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm here.
For some reason, Kalpesh, I can't get that our usual. I put the new Mozilla version today, and I can't get our.
Can you bring it up on the screen here?
I'm trying to bring it up. Give me 1 second.
Bring up on this screen.
I know. I'm trying to bring it up. It's misbehaving right now. Okay, let me try again. Okay. Is there a way to get your thing in
Yes.
In Google?
Yes, in Google also.
Okay, just tell me how to do that. That might be easier at this point because I'll talk to you after the class about. Okay, how do I do it now? Go ahead.
In here, right? Just open another window. Okay.
Yeah, I'm there.
And then can you type there? Let me tell you what to type. Okay. 1 second.
Maybe I can go to.
Can you type http:// avg-sanskrit.org /avg upload /sutras SUTRAS the number that you want is, which one do you want?
Oh, you have to put the number.
545-4-77 dot.
Oh, no. Dot. No. I got it.
Okay, that is fine.
This is the Kashika. This is Kashika. Okay, I'm got it.
No, but if you go below, you'll have Balamanam.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, now good. I learned a new thing today. Maybe let me put this on my favorites page. Hold on. Okay, good. So this is another way. Okay, good. Now the thing is that, okay, let me see. This is the Balamanorama. It says Naktam iti mantam avyayam. Straightforward, okay? Then Diva iti akarantam avyayam. We already spoke about that. Naktan Diva iti dvandvad ach. That's also straightforward. Yasya iti cha iti akara lopaha. We also did that. Now this is the troubling part, which I'm not able to digest, and maybe somebody in the class, if you have any ideas, you can look it up. Avyaya bhavascha iti avyayatvam. Now how can we use sutram avyaya bhavascha? when we have a dvandva samasaha. Because in fact clearly here he says dvandvad ach, straightforward. And then he says avyayabhavascha iti avyatvam, napumsakatvam cha. So what he's talking about is that, let me show you what he's talking about, is he's taking this, what he's talking about, avyayabhavascha comes in Ashtadhyayi in two places. Avyayabhavascha comes in Ashtadhyayi in two places. Of course, I think we know those two places. And one of them is, we already learned, which is 1141. This gives the avyasanya, avyayabhavascha. And the other one comes in 24, I think 18, which gives the napumsakatvam. Avyayabhavascha comes in Ashtadhyayi in two places. One which is the avyasanya by 1141, and the napumsakalingam by 2418. Now, so what it's saying is that this is again, what are we talking about here? We are in 5477, talking about Tika, Bala Manorama Tika. Okay? So we're talking about Naktan Divam. We got Naktan Diva from the Sutram itself, and we also derived it. Of course, the Samasa was irregular because Naktan and Diva are talking about Saptami. We made the compound based on the authority of 5477. So we only trying to get the at the end, Naktan Divam, which is, so this says avyayabhavascha avyayatvam napumsakatvam cha. This I am not able to understand, because dvandvat aj is been said here, and of course the Mahabhashyam and Kaumudi and Kashika all confirm this is a dvandva samasa, not avyayabhava samasa. And here we are avyayabhavascha avyayatvam napumsakatvam cha. And then he also quotes sutam na avyayabhava atavam tu panchamyaha. So man tattvam miti. Okay, now what is that now? He's talking about, we have not learned avyayabhava compounds as yet, but we look at this sutram later on, 2483. Na avyayabhavad ato am to panchamyaha. No avyayabhavad ato am to panchamyaha. So when you have an avyayabhava compound ending in a short a, like you say, yatha balam. No, yatha bala is the avyayabhava compound. Again, we have not done these yet. We'll come to these. But yatha bala has the avyasanya. Normally, avyadap supaha, the prashyatam should have applied. But we get the form yatha balam, yatha swam, and so on. So instead of getting yatha bala, become yatha balam. That's if you have an avyayabhava compound ending in short a, and there are some conditions here, we get the pratyaya. So instead of taking supluk, we get the pratyaya. But how can we use that here is beyond, I'm not able to understand this. Is how can we use any of these rules? Because we are talking about the samahara dvandva, sorry, we're talking about dvandva compound here. No need to bring samahara into it. Talking about dvandva compound here. So now I don't know how this is. I checked every book which I have. Now most of the books unfortunately don't give the detailed derivation. This sutram is not Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. Lagu Kaumudi does not have this sutram. So unfortunately there's no help from Bhaimi Vyakhya. I went to Mahabhashyam, I went to Nyasa, Padamanjari, Tattvabodhini, everything. And if you look at Tattvabodhini, is it here? Tattvabodhini. He doesn't even comment on that. Unfortunately, there's no comment here on the Dvandva Nipatyate. Yeah. So unfortunately, there's no comment here on Tattvabodhini. So we need to figure out how we're going to get a pratyaya over here. Now, all the books which I have, and from Mahabhashyam on down, either they are not given the detailed derivation, or unfortunately, I have about 5, 6, 7 books, and they're just translating what is given in the Bala Manorama. So I'm not able to accept this fact that avyayabhavascha can be used when we don't have an avyayabhava compound. Okay. And then also, yes.
The problem itself, I have difficulty in comprehending what you're talking about.
The problem here is that, Vasu, is that we got the form, up to this point we got the form Naktan Diva we got, okay?
Yeah.
The final form is Naktan Divam, okay? So we have to bring the or a makara maybe, but most likely an pratyaya over there.
You would do it if you define it as Napumsaka lingam as a samasta padam samo napumsaka, right?
Samo napumsaka, ato am, next sutram, ato am.
Ato yeah. And
That's what I am thinking, Vasu. That's what I am thinking.
Okay.
But every
if you don't do that, then the samasta padam can be nipatanam again because individually they are nipatanam.
No, Naktan Diva is given by Panini. That's not a point. So only we're trying to get from Naktan Diva up to Naktan Divam. That's the only step we're talking about right now.
Do you have difficulty in defining as Napumsaka?
No, Napumsak also we can define, because if you take the Samahara Dvandva, then we have the Sutram Napumsakam. So that's also we can do it. Yes.
Satyji, so I also looked and I did not find as we discussed.
Okay.
One thing I had was just follow up on what Vasuji is already asking you.
Yes.
Is that if both padas are avyaya and if you do a dvandva of an avyaya of two avyayas,
yes, would
that result into an avyaya?
Well, it's better not, because if we did, we have to avyaya rap supaha and we are stuck with Naktan Diva. If we do that, then we are stuck with because then we have to apply this 2482 avyaya rap supaha and supluk.
Okay. In that case, we cannot do this na avyaya bhava tato.
No, that avyaya
bhavad. So that requires avyaya bhava.
How it is avyaya bhavad.
Okay,
so
okay. Not avyaya. Okay.
No, not avyayas. No. Otherwise, everything will start coming like that. Every avyaya will start taking the pratyaya then. If you take an avyaya like chak, Kalpesh, it'll become cham then.
In Kashika though,
yes,
Upashunam is given as this one.
Later on, not this one, but as I explained to you in the Vasu, in the Kashika, in the Mahabhashyam, in Kaumudi, they have all very clearly said that these 11 compounds, starting from Stri Pumsa, Dhenvanaduha, Riksama, Vang Manasa, Akshibhrava, Dara Gava, Urvashchiva, Padashchiva, and then the last three, Naktan Diva, Rapsin Diva, Ahar Diva. They are confirmed by the Bhashya and everybody, then they are Dvandva compounds. So there's no question about Avyabhava Samasaha. So anyway, I'm sorry I don't have this answer for you, but I think I do have the answer. But my problem is that, whatever fortunately, unfortunately, is that many of the books simply have translated what is given in the Bala Manorama. And let me take this chance to talk to you about Bala Manorama. The Bala Manorama is the easiest commentary to follow. It's in a very simple language. It's a nice commentary. Unfortunately, though, Bala Manorama sometimes has some very glaring editing errors. Very glaring. Now, this could be one of them. Because clearly it is said over here that Dvandvat, and then right below it says Avyabhava. So now, I don't know how we can justify this, because Dvandvad Ach, and then Avyabhavascha iti avyatvam na sangachyate. I don't know how that is possible. Again, Navyabhavad iti ambhavaha. How is that possible? And the problem comes is that, as I spent 2 hours yesterday. Which is good. I found some good books, but I literally found about 5-6 books which are good. One of them in Hindi, one in Marathi also, and a few of them also in Sanskrit. Everybody repeats the same thing without. Now maybe I'm missing something here. Possible. Maybe I'm missing something. That's how Avyabhavad. But from here to here seems to be an impossible jump to go from Dvandvat to Avyabhavat. Again, there may be something I'm missing, but please make a point of this, is that this is something which I'm not able to explain. So so summarize for you. I went through all the books that I have. The following facts are confirmed. This is the Dvandva Samasa is confirmed. The Mahabhashyam itself confirms that. Second thing is that Naktan Diva is given in the Sutram as a Nipatanam. It's confirmed. Sutram itself says that. The final form is also confirmed, because Kaumudi and Kashika are both confirming Naktan Divam. So we have to somehow get from Naktan Diva in the Sutram to Naktan Divam given in Kaumudi and Kashika. And the only way to get there is to get the pratyaya There's really no other way to get a makara ideal like that. Okay. Now that's the issue at hand. That's the issue. Now, all the books I looked at, either they don't give this detail. The sutram is not in the Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, so there's no use of that. I also went to the Madhya. There is also a text called the Madhya Siddhanta Kaumudi, Madhya Siddhanta Kaumudi, Madhya Siddhanta. Madhya means it is middle. Between the Kaumudi and Laghu, there is one more text also composed by Varadaraja, which is called the Madhya Siddhanta Kaumudi. I also looked at those books also. Unfortunately, they again repeat what is given in the Bala Manorama. So all the books which I have, they're either not giving the details or they're only repeating, I think, what's given in the Bala Manorama. Doesn't make any sense at all, to me at least, the Dandvat and Avyay Bhavashta. So, but the larger point to note is that most people read only the Bala Manorama Tika. It's a nice Tika. There's a lot of good points in it. I'm not trying to put it down at all. But it has some very glaring errors. So when you read Bala Manorama, try to confirm from, so basically don't accept it till you are convinced, So, or at least you can confirm that from somewhere else. So, now this could be one of those places. It could be that I am wrong also. Could be that I'm missing something here. Because really I looked at really 5, 6, 7 books and they are good authors, good books. And there's nobody has given any clarification about this. So, okay, so that's, let me put it like, so let's move on. So this is an issue which I'll leave it with you. Chintaniyamidam, we'll leave it anyway. As I said to you, the final form is clear, Naktan Divam is clear, and that the fact that the compound was irregularly authorized by 5 forces is also clear. So I'll put it like this. Now what I think, what's the Samadhanam here then? Then what I think as Vasu suggested, what Kalpesh suggested is that you basically just take Naktan Divam, take Naktan Diva, and then you add the pratyaya default supratyaya, and this is of course by 412. And then what we use is that because this has an apumsaka linga, this is samahara dvandva. We'll take it as a samahara dvandva, and then in fact there are two opposite things, naktam and diva. So we can definitely take it as a samahara dvandva, and then we will have to use the atoam. So let's use. So this is what I think it should be. But not a single book is showing this. So Sanapumsakam will give it the Napumsalingatvam, and then as Vasu said, we have to use some more Napumsakat Apavada is Atoam. So let's use 7124. You get the same pratyaya, but by Atoam, not by the Sutram 2483, which is the Na Avyay Bhavad, Atoam to Pancha. They both have Atoam. This also has Atoam. But this is some Avyay Bhava compound, 2483. Okay, so let's do it our way. I think again, with all due respect to Bala Manorama, I might be missing something here. So I'll also put what Manorama says, and then we'll move on. Okay, so we'll make it Naktan Divam we'll make it first. Let me get a typo here. Naktan Divam. I'm not. Yes.
For completeness sake, I was just looking at Janakar. In page 169, 104.
What is he giving?
He is very glib about it. He talks.
I went to 20 books, so they either say nothing.
He puts it under the Samasanta affixes. At the end of this, he says Sakalye, Avyay Bhava Sakalye. And here in the beginning, he says, these belong to the Rajadantadi group up to Daragavam kind of thing. The shorter word comes after the longer in the Darascha, Darascha, and Samasanta. Ach is applicable only.
Let us look at how does he get the That's my only question. Other things,
He talks about Ratrimcha Divacha, Ratrim Divam.
Okay.
Ratri is replaced by Ratrim. That's about the.
That part I know. That's what I'm saying. All the books only give those points.
And then I don't know whether he talks about the next part as Avyay Bhavas.
That's the next part. Next part. So that is not going to help us. So I don't think we are going to get help benefit from that. Yeah. So anyway. So thank you for looking up those. So there are some other points which Vasu made. That in some of these compounds, something which should have gone first is going second and things like that. Those are other points. But this is what I think it should be here. And then, of course, use Ami Purva. Regardless of what you have to use Ami Purva. That has to be used at the end. That part is clear. So naktandivam, we have to use amipurvaha, monuswara, and all those good things. So I won't put those down. I just put the so what I will put it like this is I'll put it like this. Bala Manoramayam tu Bala Manorama tu so Navya Bhavat Navya Yi Bhavat Navya Bhavat iti sutrena sutrena ambhavaha iti sthitam. So this is what the Bala Manorama says. Iti sthitam. Sthitam. Chintaniyam. Idam. Chintaniyam. Okay, so we'll think about it. So anyway, we got the form Naktandivam. I think what makes sense to me is that you use the Sutram Sanapumsakam, use Ato being the default pratyaya su becomes amipurvaha. Okay, this was bothering for 2 weeks now. I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks. Normally I can find the book to give me the answer. Normally we can find a book somewhere which gives us the answer. In this case I could not. Maybe it was good. I can tell you the points involved in this, and we take it like that. Okay, so that's the one form. In fact, last class, intentionally I didn't take this last class. I wanted to go through all the books which I have. So last class I didn't bring up this issue about the because I want to take 1 more week and just confirm for myself everything which I have. And this is the situation. Okay, so make a point about Bala Manorama. Actually, our Bhimsen Shastri ji has written a book called Bala Manorama. I think called Bala Manorama Bhranti Digdarshan. Bala Manorama Bhranti Digdarshan. Bala Manorama Bhranti Digdarshanam. So anyway, he also makes the same points. There are a number. Unfortunately, I went through that book also, and I could not find this one there. He covers many points which need editing in Bala. This is mostly an editing issue. Somebody has not edited these properly. That will be a great service if someone can edit Bala Manorama. That will be a fantastic service, because every Siddhanta Kaumadi, like Shastriji says, publishes mostly with Bala Manorama. And it has these very glaring editing issues, which somebody has to step up and do this job. So that will be very nice. Anyway, okay. So next point in the book is, let's look at the next one, which is Ratrau cha divacha ratrin divam. I think we just talked about the same thing here. No, Ratri also is standing for Ratrau. Same problem here. It is Saptamyantam. So we could not even use Charthe Dvandvaha. And then one more thing is happening here is the Ratri is becoming Ratrim. So this, and what Kaumadi says, Ratrer Mantatvam Nipatyate. Ratrau cha divacha ratrin divam. Similar, all the similar. Of course, the same problem with the at the end. But one more thing is that Ratrer Mantatvam Nipatyate. The Sutram itself, Panini has given us the form Ratrindiva. So Ratrindiva is by day and by night, so day and night. So already Panini has given us the form Ratrindiva. So Ratrer Mantatvam Nipatyate means that the Ratri is being made Ratrim. So Ratrau cha divacha Ratrindivam. Ratrau cha divacha Ratrindivam. That's the next one in the book. We're not taking all the 11, we're only taking one which is in the book, just to give you a flavor of what is there. So Ratrau cha divacha Ratrindivam. Same thing, Ratrindivam. You can also do the Vapadantasya, make it Parasavarnaha. So Ratrindivam. So here the issue is that Ratrehe Mantatvam Nipatyate. Ratrehe Mantatvam mantatvam, 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 nipatyate, 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 nipatyate. Okay, so ratrer mantatvam nipatyate. So this in the sutram itself, there is no problem here, because in the sutram itself, Panini has given ratrin diva. So nakta, just like naktan diva, naktam was an avyayam. The ratri is not an avyayam, and again the same issue. We could not use charthe dvandvaha, but charthe means one thing, another thing. Even if it's not a physical thing, it should be one noun with the pratyaya prathama should be there. This is more like a saptami coming there. So, but Panini has given this sutram, so I mean this nipatanam, so we can form the compound. And one more thing Panini does is that he has given the mantattam for the ratri shabda. So become ratrin divam. Everything else is same as before. And then last one is in the book, it says ahar divam. Ahar divam. Ahar divam is that, look at this sum now. This interesting one is ahani cha divacha ahar divam. Because now what's happening is that the ahani and diva both mean the same thing. Ahani and diva both mean the same thing, which is that by day, by day. Now how do we justify this one now? Because since they are both meaning the same thing, they should have, there should be a ekashesha compound. It's a strange kind of form. So during the day. So not only can we not form a compound like that, but it doesn't make, doesn't make too much sense like that. So that the Kaumudi comments on that is that vipsayam dvandvo nipatyate. Vipsayam dvandvo nipatyate. So this is a special kind of, it means ahani ityarthaha. Ahani arthi ityarthaha. So basically if we cannot form a compound with the same thing repeating itself like that. So that's the problem here. So what Kaumudi says is vipsayam dvandvo nipatyate. So that means this is a special kind of compound, which doesn't really mean A and B. It really means that it is day after day, day after day, day after day. So this is given as, of course, the same problem with the ambhava at the end, but otherwise the it is in a special meaning. So we'll do this one here like that. So make it ahani cha divacha. Ahani cha divacha. Again, these are also saptami. Ahani cha divacha. Divacha becomes ahar divam. Ahar divam. Let's talk about the sandhi also for a second over here. Ahar divam. So we'll come to that in a second. But it says that vipsayam. Vipsayam. See, this is the thing is language. It's so difficult to find good, reliable books which are well edited. So when you find them, please buy them and please keep them. Even if you don't plan to use them, please keep them. Somebody will come and thank you for it. Like today, if I had a book from my grandfather, somebody which had this thing, I'd be thankful today. I don't have it. So once you get a book like this Kashika edited by Ramlal Kapoor Trust or Kaumudi by Nirnay Sagar or all these, or Bhaimi Vyakhya, please keep these books carefully. So these are more and more rare, so we can rely on them and use. That's also the greatness of Siddhanta Kaumudi. There's almost no error. Of course, it is brief, but that's the greatness. So vipsayam. Of course, here also we try to make as few errors as possible. Vipsayam dvandvo nipatyate. Dvandvo nipatyate. Dvandvo nipatyate. Nipatyate. And then ahani ityartaha means day after day. Ahani ityartaha. Ityartaha. Okay. So ahani cha divacha ahar divam. So basically what I'm putting exactly what Kaumudi has said. Vipsayam dvandvo nipatyate. Ahani ityartaha. Ahanyahani. I guess I can do the sandhi here also. Ahanyahani ityartaha. Ahanyahani. Okay. Now, so it means day after day, repeatedly day after day. So, okay, now let's talk about the sandhi for a second. Ahan plus su. Actually, no, sorry. Ahan plus mi plus diva was the alaukika vigravakyam. Of course, we do the kritadita samasascha pradipadika sanya supodhadi pradipadika yoho between ahan plus divam. Now, what is the sandhi here? How will you get ahar divam? ahardivam. So we need to look at these two rules, which are going to be 8267, 68, I think they are. So when we look at the ahan plus here the pratyaya is going to be ni. So this is again where we had a problem with using charte dvandvaha. Every time Panini does a nipatanam, you have to understand that he has no other easy way out. Only then does Panini make a nipatanam. And here charte dvandva could not be used. So ahani, of course, diva is an avyayam. Ap supa is already gone. And then we get the ahan plus, this is only sandhi karyam now, ahan plus diva. Now here we have used, of course, the kutas, the samasascha, supo dhatu pradipatikayoho. Now we have to use sutram ahan. Again, this has been covered already in the Saturday class examples a few times, which I hope all of you please follow that. And the sutram here, I think is, in fact, let me show it to you in the Ashtadhyaya first. I think it's 8268. Let's look at these two rules for a second, which are in ahan and ros supi. Ahan and ros supi. Let's look at 8268, 8269 is only sandhikaram we're doing now. Sandhikaram, and I think here 8268. So ahardivam. And I think here I think if you look at since I read all these commentaries now, this one, ahardivam, I think the Padamanjari is Rupanam. Okay, Ros supiti repaha. Ahardivam. Ros supiti repa is what he says. Ros supi. So what it says? Ahan nityetasya rurbhavati. So ahan means padasya. When ahan is the end of a padam, you get the ru adesha. This is 8268 sutram called ahan. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kalpesh. Yeah. So 8269. I should pay attention to Kalpesh to keep and the chat window. Okay, Kalpesh is typing inside. Okay, 8269. 8269. So this one, why can we not use this one? Ahan iti etasya padasyarur bhavati. Now ahan does have the padasanya. We had the pratyaya ni, and we did the supo dhatu pradipatikayoho pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam suptingantam padam. So ahan does have the padasanya. Now why are we not using this sutram? Because the next sutram is specifically says, the next sutram 8269 specifically says, ahan niti etasya refadesho bhavati asupi parataha. Now how can, the question is that, again this has all been covered in the Saturday examples, so I'm just repeating quickly over here. How can ahan not have a sup with it? Because ahan is a pratipadikam, and therefore by any pratipadikam, by using 412, I mean su, just etc., you have to get a pratyaya su, etc., after any pratipadikam. So what does Panini mean when he says that ros supi? So asupi parataha. Asupi, how is that possible? Katham sambhavati? Idam asupi iti na sambhavet. It says, Kashika says, Nanu cha atrapi pratyaya lakshanena subbasti ahar dadatir bhungte iti na etadasti uktam etad anhor avidhav lumata lukte pratikshanam na bhavati. So what happens is that when basically what this is saying is that when we do the look, when we do the look of the su or the or whatever it might be, when we do the look, normally you have pratyaya lope, pratyaya lakshanam. So even though the sup has gone away, the sup is considered to be there. But for this sutram ros supi, in order to have any application for it, in the Mahavashyam it says that the only way we can have a supi is if when we do the look elision, we don't allow for pratyaya lope, pratyaya lakshanam by vachana samadhyat. Spani is saying ros supi. So he wants his sutram to have some application. Now sup has to come after ahan, because no matter it's a pratipadikam, it has to take sup. So the only way we can get close to asupi is when we do the look elision, we don't give it the pratyaya lakshanam just for this sutram here, in order to make it applicable. So very simply means that when the sup look is done, then you use 8269. So 8269 applies when the supluk is done. When is supluk done? Supluk is done basically by so if you take the it will be done by two rules, one which we are using right now, which is the krit is the supodhatu pradipatikayoho, and the other one, of course, we saw is which was Vasute earlier, is the samo napunsakat luksyat. So when you take the ahan, which is of course napunsakalinga pradipadikam, when you do the prathama ekavachanam, ahan plus su or ahan plus as a matter of fact, either one, you will get the samo napunsakat luksyat. When luk happens, normally you would have pratyaya lopi pratyaya lakshanam, but in the case of ros supi, upon it says sup should not follow. The only way we can make sense of that is when we do the luk illusion, then don't consider the pratyaya lopi pratyaya lakshanam. So you get the repha. Not the ru. Now what's the big deal over here between the repha and the ru? Because look at the examples Kashika gives. He gives the examples of, again, these are only sandhi rules we're talking about now. So ahar dadati. So ahar, ahan plus su. If we had a ru over here, it become aho dadati. Like Ramo dadati. Ramas dadati, we can Ramo dadati. So 8269 is prescribing a repha adesha. 8268 prescribes a ru adesha. 8268 is a ru adesha. 8269 is a repha adesha. And then 8269 can only be used after doing supluk. So so if we take ahar dadati, if it's ahan plus su and then dadati, if we use 8268 with the ru adesha, which would become aho dadati by hashicha, the wrong form. You want ahar dadati. So we need to make a repha adesha here. That's why Panini puts ros supi. Ros supi says that the when the supluk has taken place, then the nakara of ahan, of course, alontyasya, nakara of ahan will take the repha adesha. So what do we have right now? We have this form ahan with this taken the supluk by the supo dhatu pradipadika yoho supluk. So therefore we have to now make the repha adesha, because if we repha adesha make it the ahar divam. So anyway, this is only sandhi karyam, which I think you already know, so we don't want to spend too much time on that. So ahar divad and becomes ahar divam, etc. So 8269 and the Padamanjari. By the way, same thing between, not to spend too much time in the class, but between the Nyasa and Padamanjari. Now Nyasa is the very old first commentary that we have today on the Kashika. It's a very fantastic commentary, very simple, very straightforward, very nice. But the Padamanjari is more authoritative, because Padamanjari is basically a edited, kind of corrected, revised version of Nyasa. Now, in all due fairness, Nyasa was the first one. He did a very good job of the commentary on Kashika, but Padamanjari came along and revised the Nyasa commentary. So that's what. So Padamanjari is regarded as more authoritative. Nyasa also is good, makes a lot of good points, and deserves a lot of credit. So that was the first one. So this Nyasa commentary, the Padamanjari says ros supiti repha, ahar divamiti ros supiti repha. Very straightforward. Okay, so that was the sandhi karyam here, which is ros supi 8269. Yes.
So this is 8268 in the ahan, the Kashika commentary. It says apara aha.
Apare aha. Okay. Hold on. Let me get there. 1 second. Okay. Let me get there. Well, this is good, Kalpesh. I like this one, which looking over the whole page. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. So, Daiva Yogadidam Jatam, blessing in disguise. Daiva Yogat. Okay. Apare aha. What is this now? Samanyena rephadau. Oh no, this is for the Vartikam, Kalpesh.
So apara is who is apara?
Apare is some other people say. Apare aha. There's a Vartikam by Katyana on this, which says ahan ruvidhau Rupa Ratri Rathantareshu Upasankhyanam Kartavyam. So when you have Ahan followed by the Rupa or Ratri or Rathantara, then also we have to do the Ru Adesha. So Aho Rupam, Aho Ratraha, Aho. In fact, it's coming. Next example is coming. By the way, the next example this is coming. But then it says Ro Supi iti asya apavado rutvam upasankhyayate. Apareyah. Some other people say that not only these three, not only Rupa, Rati, Rathantara, but Samanyena Rephadav Rutvam Bhavati, Ahoramyam, Ahoratnani Ityadi. So this Vartikam only gives three terms, Rupa, Rati, and Rathantara. But some people say you should extend the Vartikam, that when it's any Rephadi Padam, then this Ahan Nakara will become Ru only, not Repha by Ros Supi. So this Apareya has only extend this Vartikam. They want to extend this Vartikam. Because if you take Ahoramyam, if you normally Ahoramyam, it's a wonderful day, let's say Ahoramyam. But this is not Aho, is the Avyam Aho. This is the Ahan Pradipadikam we're talking about. If you take Ahan, this is a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day. So Ahan plus Ramyam, again using logic which we just spoke about, when we do Ahan plus Su, Samo Napunsakar Luksyat, then we'll have to make it into a Refa. It will become Aharamyam. If you make a Refa like Punaramyam, Punaramyam becomes Punaramyam. So it becomes Aharamyam. But some people I think this is not the right form, Aharamyam. Should be Ahoramyam. Now how can we make Ahoramyam? We have to get the Ru Adesha. The Ru Adesha cannot come because Katyana only says Rupa, Rati, Rathantara, only these three. So then some people are saying we need to extend this one. We need to extend this one and say when any Rephadi follows, then you should get the Ru Adesha only, not the Refa Adesha, but the next sutra. That's what this is a Kalpesh. This is not our case right now.
Satishji,
yes.
It makes sense because if you have two Repas, one will drop anyway.
No, the form according to Panini should be Aharamyam. Like Punaramyam becomes Punaramyam. So you'll get the form Aharamyam, not Ahoramyam. But they're saying that this is not a desirable form. So making sure you extend the Vartikam to make it a Ruadesha and make it Ahoramyam. Anyway, that's not... Yes. No.
The reason why I asked is because I thought that Apara would refer to some other commentary that existed during Kashika time.
No, Aparem is some people say. See, Kashika doesn't really give that names of these other texts, So Kashika is unfortunately really secretive about that. He doesn't really give, who has said this, So that's the one thing in Kashika. He will not mention in it. So this might have been some other Vyakaranam or something. It's possible. This could be a reference to some other Vyakaranam or some other Acharya maybe. But, it's not given in the Kashika. So, and Kashika is now antique for us, so it's hard for us to find out. So, but anyway, okay. So this is anyway Sandhi Karyam only. So basic point was that this form, Ahanicha Devacha, is really Vipsayam, Dvandva Nipatyate. So this is Vipsayam, means day after day. So the main problem here right now is why do we need Nipatanam? Because this is Saptami here, Ahani, you couldn't form, you could not use Chartya Dvandva. So Panini is giving this ready-made form, which is of course the Pratyaya. Ach is given at the end, and Ach is formed, you do Yasyeticha, and as before, and get the form Ahani, Ahanyahani Ityarthaha. So, okay, so that is that. Let's look at the next thing in the book. I think there's a small error maybe in the book. And the next thing in the book that we have is Ahascha Ratrischa Ahoratram. I think that you have to make it Ahoratraha. Ahoratraha. Let's look at Sutram 2.4.20. But this is in Bhaimi Vyakhya on page 157. Okay. The entire derivation of this compound is given in the Bhaimi Vyakhya on volume 4, page 157. So volume 4, page 157. Okay, so I'm just going to read out from there. It's going to be pretty easy for us. See, I think Shastriji has done such a good job for us, because when he says something, normally it's pramanam for us. So anyway, here 2.4.29. So please make a correction in the book. It should be Ahoratraha. Ahoratraha. Now, why are we making Ahoratraha with a special rule 2.4.29? 2.4.29, 2.4.29, and Ratrahnaha Pumsi. Ratraha Pumsi. So what does 2429 give us? Let's read this thing. Is that normally we had this, Sanapumsakam we had, then we had Paravalingam Nunutannu Tatpurushayoho, but this specific sutram says that, let's look at this 2429, let's look at the vritti of that 2429, it prescribes, it says Pumsi. So, 2429 says, Krita Samasantanam Nirdeshaha is Ratra Ahna Aha Iti Ete Pumsi Bhashyante. So when you have a Samasaha ending in Ratra or Ahna or Aha, then they will be in the masculine only. Lagu Kavi says, Etad Antau Dvanvatat Purushau Pumsieva. So when you have a Dvandva compound or Tatpurusha compound ending in one of these, which is Ratra, Ahna, and in fact here, Ahascha Ratrishcha Ahoratraha. So Sarva Ratraha, and so on. So they become, okay. So these are going to be in like this. Now let us look at, so that is why here we have to, because the specific rule, which we have to use. So let's look at the derivation of this one. So Ahascha Rat. So this is now we are going outside. We don't have to go into the 5477 anymore. Just looking at a straightforward Dvandva Samasaha. So let's say Vigraha Vakyam is Ahascha Anayoho Samaharaha. Ahascha Anayoho Samaharaha. So let's do that. Vigraha Vakyam. I'm reading from Bhaimi Vyakhya, page 157. So Ahaha. So Ahascha Ratrishcha. Anayoho. Chanayoho Samaharaha. Become Ahoratraha. Now we have to use Vatikam, which Kalpesh was talking about. We need that now. Ahoratraha. Okay, so let's go step by step. So we take, of course, Ahan. This is the Laukika Vigraha Vakyam. Make it Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam. Let's do that step by step. So Ahan plus Su plus Ratri plus Su, Ratri plus Su, and now what happens, as usual, we do of course here we have used Charte Dvandva, so this is no Nipatanam over here, so please don't confuse it. This is we don't need, there's nothing in 5477 for this. We're just looking at the usual Charte Dvandva will work over here. And then we use Krita Samasa, Supo, Dhatu Pradvidikayoho, which by now are second nature for you, I hope. So practice those, are straightforward. So any compound, the Samastam Padam Gashti Padvidika Sanya by Krita Samasa, Supo, Dhatu Pradvidikayoho, Supluk. So 1246, 2471. And then what happens is that we have to look at the lingam over here. So now, first of all, there's another sutra which we need. Ahasarvaika desha sankhyata punyacha ratrehe. So this first of all, we need to make a samas anta pratyaya over here. Samas anta pratyaya. So this one is, I think 5487. Let's look at that one first. Before we go into doing the sandhi, the linga vichara, let's first form the compound properly. See this antarangam, right? So first, when we form the compound only, then we'll look at the lingam of the compound and start declining it. But let's form the pradipadikam first. The pradipadikam. It says, Ahasarvaika desha sankhyata punyacha ratrehe. Let's look at the vritti of 5487. 5487 vritti. 5487 vritti. It says, Ebhyaha ratrer ach syat. Chat sankhya avavadehe, sankhya avavadehe, ahargrahanam dvandvartham. So when you have the ratri as the second member of a compound, and the first member is one of these, which is ahan, sarva ekadesha sankhyaata punya. So the examples he gives in the Kashika is that says, of course, ahascha ratrishcha ahoratraha, but then sarvaratraha, then purvara, ekadesham is one part of the night, one part of the night. So he gives purvam ratrehe, purvaratraha, apararatraha, so like the early part of the night, later part of the night, and then sankhyata ratri, the word sankhyata ratraha, and then punya ratrihi, punya ratraha. And then also anuvritti is coming off sankhya vayavadehe. So vayavadehe, there are some typos here. Sankhya and ava. So we have the dvi ratraha, three ratraha. So it can be 2 nights, 3 nights, and atikranto ratrimati rat. Anyway, don't worry about all these compounds right now. Right now we only need one, which is ahaha, ahan. So for the time being, just focus on that one, 5487. So as I said to you, let me just confirm one more time that even though we said last time that there's only one sutram here, in the Samasanta Prakarana we have only one sutram for Dvandva, right? We talked about that. And last time we did that is Dvandvat, Chuda, Shahanta, Samahare. But we also saw that in 5477, Panini has put 11 and there's one more later on, I think 12 Dvandva compounds here. We all looked at that. So it's not only 54106, but we have these 11 Dvandva compounds. I think there's one more later, making it 12, I think, in this sutram. There are going to be, we have to worry about this one also. And then, now in this 5487, Panini sticks one ahan over there for, again, a Dvandva compound. So, see, yes, so even though this is coming Tatpurusha, because this 5486 talks about Tatpurusha, Tatpurushasyang bulehe sankhya vyavadehe, sankhya vayavadehe, sankhya vayavadehe, sankhya avayava, sankhya vayavadehe, sankhya vayavadehe, sankhya vayadehe, sankhya avayava. So avyaya, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry, excuse me. Sankhya and avyaya, not avayava, avyaya. Sankhya vyayadehe, sankhya vyayadehe. So if you have a sankhya vachaka shabda or an avyayam, sankhya vyayadehe. Please correct the pronunciation, excuse my pronunciation. Sankhya vyayadehe, avyayadehe. So that was in Tatpurusha was coming over here, Tatpurusha. But within that, Panini has put one, this ahan, and this is going to form a Dvandva compound. So even the Tatpurushasya is the adhikara going, the anuvritti is coming down here. There's one Dvandva samasa Panini has put over here, and anuvritti sankhya and avya is coming down. Sankhya vyayadehe, sankhya vyayadehe. I'm sorry, it's a tough pronunciation. Sankhya vyayadehe. And there's also a typo here, making it even difficult. So sankhya vyayadehe. Okay. So ahan is here, that's this is, and this Kaumudi says ahar gahanam dvandvartham. So ach pratyaya bhavati. So let's do that. Put 5487 now and put the pratyaya ach and then follow the same operations, which is the sankhya vyayadehe. Okay. So now put the pratyaya ach by 5487. Then get the bhasanya by yachibham, yasyeti cha. So puravat, same as before. So just puravat. So ach pratyaya by 5487, and then we are going to get the form ahan, and then ratra. So we read the ikar lopa. Of course, the halankyam, followed by yasyeti cha, bhasanya, followed by yachibham bhasanya, then yasyeti cha. Within that. By the way, I think last class also had a couple of typos in here. I think the typo in last class was the there was some typo here. Anyways, okay, I think last class the one typo I had made was shitoshne. I think I put shitoshnake. I think I put by mistake in the last class. If you have last class notes, I put by mistake shitoshnake. It should be shitoshne udake. So this has been corrected now, but it is a typo in the last class. And I think here also I had this thing 2 times. I think I put nakulat. Only nakulat. So this is only one. Then comes the kshudrantava. So kshudrantava means the small tiny creatures. Anukulat. So Kshudrajantavaha. And I put Nakulat twice in the last class. Please make the correction. And I also did this one, Shitoshna K. For some reason I had should be Shitoshne Udake. So last class typos. Yeah, any typos you see, please let me know in the class or after the class, we'll correct them. Okay, so now coming back to here, now we got Ahan Ratra. Now comes the Linga Vichara. Now we have to make the Lingam. So that this Sutram, which this 2429 specifically says, when you have Ratra at the end like that, that becomes in the masculine. It goes in the masculine. So then following again in the very nicely given in the Bhaimi Vyakhya is given the entire derivation of this compound. Okay, let me see. I lost the page over here. Go back to that page 157. Yeah, it's on page 157. So Ratran ha ha pumsi, Ratran ha 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 pumsi. So etadantau dvandvat tatpurushau pumsi eva tatpurushau. So 2429. 2429 is specific rule. So please make the correction in the book. The book correction is that these are only in the masculine. So etad antau dvandvat tatpurushau pumsieva ahascha ratishcha ahoratraha. So they're going to be in the masculine. So now this is still a samahara dvandvaha. So it will have ekavat. It will be ekavat. That part will not change. It will be ekavat. The only thing what we are doing is that ekavat is fine, but this sutra which was 2417 just telling us sanapumsakam, that's not going to be overruled. Sanapumsakam is going to be overruled by this ratran ha 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 pumsi, an ha ha ha, ratran ha 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 pumsi. So that is going to overrule, but this one, the ekavachanam will stay. So basically now what we do is that we then take the take ratri. So we'll make it. Let me see. I'm looking at the ahoratra. So then we make it ekavadbhavaha. Actually, the way that his that one more point Shastriji makes is that really what this is, this Jatira Praninam, making the Ekavad Bhavaha. So as I told you, this is the most important sutram in that section in 2.4 beginning. Jatira Praninam, Jatira Praninam, this is Nitya Karyam. Now why cannot we use this one? Yesham cha virodha shashvatikaha. No, sorry, no, that one. Not this one, this one. Vipratishiddham Chanadhikarana Vachi. Because that was only a Niyamartham Sutram. That Sutram 2413 is a Niyamartham, which means that if it's Adhikarana Vachi, it will be only Itara Yoga. We saw in the class, I think last class itself, we saw that. That means when there are opposing states like hot and cold, etc. When they refer to state itself, then we can make it optionally Dvandva. So we can use Sukha Dukkham, Sukha Dukkhe. Sukha Dukkham, Sukha Dukkhe we can make. But then when you have Adhikarana Vachi, when we have Shitoshne Udake, only Itara Yoga. So anyway, this sutra Vipratishaddham cha Anadhikarana Vachi is only going to make it Vikalpa, because here we had the two fortresses Vibhasha. Again, going back to why do we even need this sutram? Because the Niyamartham sutram is when it's Adhikarana Vachi, then only Itara Yoga is to be used. So basically, this is not really prescribing a Samahara. This is in fact putting a Niyama on that. Niyama is that when you have something like hot water, cold water, when you compound that, you cannot use Samahara after that. So right now we want to make the Ahoratraha as a Samahara Nityam. Then Jatira Praninam, which is a day and a night. It's a class. This is not telling you which day. Didn't say Paurnima or Amavasya, what day it is. Didn't tell you which day, Somavara or Guruvar. Didn't tell like that. Jatira Praninam. So this is going to be a Nitya Samahara. So 246 we'll have to use. And then Ekavachanam. And then of course bring in the Pratyaya Su. And so let's put that over here. Now last thing is the Sandhikaryam. So we'll come to that in a second. Before that, so became Han plus Ratra plus the Pratyaya Su we have done now, Su, which is of course by, so here first of all 246 to Jatira Praninam, it is Nityam, it's going to be Samahara Nityam, Jatira Praninam 246, so it's going to be Ekavat ekavachanam. We're going to give ekavachanam, and then we are using 2,429, so which will overrule in this case the 2,417. Sanapumsakam is overruled. It will be only pumsi, and we get that. So we get the pullinge. What else do we need here now? Then of course we have to put 412, and then we are going to get ahan ra traha. Ahan ra tras, really speaking, really ahan ra tras. That's what we have so far. Now we have to make the sandhi karyam between ahan and ra. We have to make sandhi karyam between ahan and ra tras. So so jatira praninam was used, and so let's finish the final thing over here. And okay, so sandhi karyam is that as Kalpesh was saying, we would have had the rose supi. We would have had rose supi normally coming here, but there is a vartikam now. There is a vartikam, which is the let's see, where does I'm just looking at the ahoratra. Okay. Now, it's already made this sandhikaram. Okay, Rupa Rati Rasantareshu Ruttam Vachyam. Okay, so let's go to this rule which we have seen these two rules before, which is 8268, 8269, 8268, 8269. 8268 says ahan. If you have a ahan which is in the padantam, padasanya, then nakara becomes a ru. But the next sutram, Rose Supi, was telling us when supluk takes place, which we have done here. Supluk has been done here. Because when we use 2471, supo dharipadika paripadika yoho supluk. So this one we shall really done the next sutram, which is rose supi. Rose supi. Supluk has been done. But if we do that, we'll get the wrong form. We get aho, so we get aharatra. If we apply rose supi, we'll get a repa. And then we get rori, rori. Then dhalope pusidirgonaha. So dhalope pusidirgonaha. We could have done aharatra. So if we use 8269, you get the wrong form. That's why there is a vartikam on 8268. 8268 has a vartikam. 8268 has a vartikam. 8268. And it says that the Rupa Rati Rathantareshu Upasankhyanam Kartavyam. So Anha Ru Vidhau. So in the prescription of Ru for Ahan, we should include the situations when these three terms follow: Rupa, Ratri, and Rathantara. Right now we have Ratri falling. Ratri became Ratra, but that's okay. Ratri is, we can use the Ekadesha Vikritam Ananyavat. So even though Ratri became Ratra, it won't spoil this rule. So Rupa, Ratri, Rathantareshu Upasankhyanam. So in the Vartikam on 8268, you're going to do the Ru Adeshaha, not the Repha by 8269. So let's finish that, and that will give us the final form. So here, so next thing we will do the Ru, and then of course in the meanwhile Sasajusho Ruhu also will come. Sasajusho Ruhu. That also is just so we are using, of course, 8266 Sasajusho Ruhu. And what you're using is the 8268 Vartikam, because we don't want the Refa Desha by Rose Supi Vartikam. And then of course you use as usual the Hashicha, Adgunaha, and then Karvasana Visajaniyaha and all that. So we'll make it Ahoratraha, 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 Ahoratraha. So Hashicha has been used, Adgunaha has been used, Adgunaha. Then of course Karavasana Visarjaniyaha 8315 has been used. Okay, so start from the beginning now. Beginning we had Ahantasu Ratri plus Su. Straightforward Charte Dvandvaha. Then we are going to use Jatira Praninam. Jatira Praninam to make it Nityam Samahara. Because Ahan and Rati is a day and night. There are many days and many nights. We're not talking about a specific day and a specific night. That's why I told you many times this 246 is a very important sutram, Jatira Praninam. Any generic term, as long as it's not a prani, we have to use Samahara only. So a day and a night, there are many days, many nights. We're not talking about specific day, specific night. So use Chartidandvaha, then use Jatira Praninam, make it Samahara. and then use, of course, there's a samasa supo dhatu padvidikayoho look syat. When we did the look, normally we would have to use rosupi, but instead we're going to use the vartikam over here because ratri is following ahan. In the meanwhile, you get the samasanta pratyaya ach by 5487. 5487. You got a samasanta pratyaya ach. This is also a bit tricky one, even though tatpurusha is coming down. But here, this single one, Panini puts in here with ahan plus ratri when you do pratyaya. This is a dvandva samasaha. We have pratyaya ach, samasanta ach has to be used. So we use that 5487. We'll highlight that. Is also important sutram here. We're going to come back to this one when we do tatpurusha land. But right now we are using only one part of that. And then of course we do the halantyam, yachibham, yasyiti cha, ikar lopaha. Then we use 2429 because normally we have sanapumsakam. But instead, Panini specifically says that when you have these at the ending terms, which is the ratra, ahna, and aha, then pumsi only be in the masculine. So then we didn't use our 2417. Instead, we brought in the supratya in napumsakalinga, napumsalinga pradipradikam we got, and then we got ahan, ratras. Then in the meanwhile, we use the vartikam 15268, become aha, ru, ratra, ru. Then the usual hashicha, adgunaha, karavasana visarjaniyaha, ahoratra. Interesting compound. So that those are all the steps. Now the let's see now next part which in the book he's giving is so ahoratra we did that. Now akshini cha bhruvaucha. So this one we did not use 5477. Okay, for this ahascha ratrischa there's no need. There's nothing in 5477. So unfortunately in the book what has happened is that he has put this naktancha divacha, Ratraucha divacha, ahanicha divacha, 5477. Then ahascharatrischa, we don't need, we just go back to Charte Dvandvaha and then Jatira Praninam. And now coming back to Akshinicha Bhruvaucha, Akshibhruvam, again we have to go back to A5477, 5477, which is, Panini gives Akshibhruva. So he's given ready-made form. So akshani cha bhruvaucha akshibhruvam. Now we have the pratyaya ach is being prescribed at the end, akshibhruvam. So let us look at this form now. What would have normally happened if we did not have 5477? Look at that briefly. So let's look at the. So we have akshini. Okay, let's put the laukika vigraha. So akshini cha bhruvaucha. So bhruvaucha, and then we can say esham samaharaha. So esham samaharaha. Esham samaharaha. So that will give us, normally we should get, we're going to get the form akshibhruvam. So it is the eyes and the eyelid, eyes and the eyebrows. Now, so this is by 5477. If we did not have this rule, we would have had, okay, let's look at the alaukika vigraha vakyam. So we have akshi, akshi is a pratipadikam plus au, plus we have bhru. Before we go on, let me remind you, of course, of our sutram, our famous sutram. So so this we can use Charte Dvandvaha, nothing wrong with that. We can use Charte Dvandvaha. So this is fine. So because this is not, so the samasa itself is authorized by Charte Dvandvaha. That's not a basic, we don't have a basic problem with Charte Dvandvaha over here. Unlike Naktan Divam, Ratsin Divam, those were all not even in the domain of Charte. But this Charte is fine, we can use that. So now let me remind you of our friend, which is famous sutram 86477, which is Achishna Dhatu Bhruvam. Yuvoryang Uvangao. And let's go to Gita for a second, have a little Gita today. Let's do a little Gita for today. Okay, I think chapter 5, chapter 5. Sparshan Kutva Bahirbayam Chakshushchaivantare Bhuvoho. So Bhru plus Os makes it Bhuvoho. You get the Uvangadesha. And Bhru is followed by an Ach, you get the Uvangadesha. Not any like echo and anything, all those things are stopped. Uvangadesha. So chapter 5. Sparshan Kutva Bahirbayam Chakshushchaivantare Bhuvoho. Pranapano Samo Kritva and so on. Okay. So here when we did the Vigravakyam over here, we said Akshi cha Bruvau cha. So this is Bru plus Au became Bruvau. So we have already used over here the 6477 has been used. 6477 has been used over here already. Akshini cha Bruvau cha. Now so Au plus Au, of course the first two steps you know already. Krit is the samasa cha supo dhatu padivikayoho. Now, if we did not have 5477, then we would have just made the, you should have had, of course, the sanapumsakam, and then the rassanapumsake pradipadikascha. So we would have had akshibru. The compound would have been akshibru. Would have been akshibru by, okay, let me just type this in here first. So in the absence of 5477, you would have had akshibru. So right now what we have is, this one we have by our usual rules, Krutta samasa, supo dhatu pradipatikayoho, and then we would have had akshibru, akshibru. Now how we have had that? We would have done, of course, sanapumsakam, and then we would have had the Rassanapumsake pratipadikasya. Rassanapumsake pratipadikasya. So that one is 1247. So it become akshibru. Akshibru would have been the form. So we can madhu akshibru. So 1247. But that is not the correct form. So what we are going to get now, we're going to get the pratyaya ach. Ach pratyaya has been given, so this specific compound, which is the eyes and the eyebrows, Pani says the pratyaya ach has to be used. Let's continue from here. So now we're going to get akshibru. And even before I go there, I want to mention the sutram, why are we making samahara only over here? Because our very first sutram which we have been seeing, which is the 242. Dandvascha Prani Turya Senanganam, and we already talked about in detail last two classes how this is really a Niyamartan Sutram, which is that if it is a Pranyanganam, Atva Turyanganam, Atva Senanganam, Samahara Eva, Natu Itaretara Yogaha. So when we have the Pranyanganam, so this is eyes and eyebrows are of course parts of body, so then this is going to be, it has to be only Samahara, so 242. So Prani Turya Senanganam. So Dvandvascha Prani Turya Senanganam. So only Samahara. Samahara can only be used over here. Cannot use that. Remember that. Let's continue from here now. So let's just use 5477. Let's bring in the Ach. Let's bring in the Ach Pratyaya. So this Panini specifically says that this particular form is Pratyaya Ach. And then of course we can do the Uvangadesha again. Uvangadesha, akshibruva. Of course, in the sutram itself, Pani has given us the final form. It is readily there. So all the karam is all done in sutram. So akshibruva. So this will be 6477. 6477. Akshibruva 6477. And then of course sanapumsakam, niputyaya su, and then ato amipurvaha akshibruvam. So then we add the supratyaya and do the usual operations. This is by 412, of course. So just and because this is ekavachanam, only su will be there. So then we'll in prathama only su can come. So ato amipurvaha. So napumsakam ato ami purvaha. The final form becomes akshi, akshibhruvam, akshibhruvam, akshibhruvam. I'm sorry, akshibhruvam, 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 akshibhruvam. Okay. So sanapumsakam, atoam, and then amipurvaha, amipurvaha. Okay. So from the top one more time, akshini cha bhruvau cha charte dvandvaha praniyanganam samahare eva. Now, if you did not have 5477, if you did not have the pratyaya ach coming in there, akshi bhru would have been the anishtam rupam, because sanapumsakam and then rasso napumsake pradipadikasya would have had that. Now, but Pani gives us this ready-made form which has the pratyaya ach at the end, so we akshi bhru plus ach. So we don't do the rasso napumsake pradipadikasya, we get the pratyaya before that, 5477. Uvangadesha akshi bhruva, and of course sanapumsakam ato amipurvaha. Okay, I think that completes this page for us. And this page, so was a bit complicated. I mean, you see how much time we took. You know, I mean, I hope again we only going to record this I think one time in my life, I think. So we did spend a lot of details on all these rules from this 2.4.2 to 2.4.16. All kinds of niyamas going on over there. It's a very naughty section. It is a difficult section, this one, because there's niyamas and then there's more niyamas and then all these kind of things going on. So even though at face value, this 2.4 to 2.4.16 looks straightforward, it's very complicated because all the niyamas, all the restrictions have been put everywhere. And then we just looked at this sutram in, of course, then after that we got 5.4.106, which was straightforward. That was straightforward. The chavarganta, dakaranta, shakaranta, hakaranta, that was easy. But then that was we did in last class. I think pratyaya touch was coming over there, pratyaya touch. But then today we saw this whole thing about whole thing. So 5.4.106 we saw last time. Chavarganta, dakaranta, shakaranta, hakaranta, touch pratyaya. And today we saw this long sutram for the most part, which gives the nipatanam of the ending in pratyaya ach. And there are first three bahuvris. The 11 dvandva compounds, we've seen a few of them during the class. And then, of course, we talked about situation with the naktan chadivat, naktan divam. Again, I don't mean to put down Balamanurama at all. It's a good commentary. It makes a lot of good points. This is not disrespect for the author of Balamanurama. In fact, if really somebody can edit Balamanurama, it will become very useful for all of us. And then, of course, we saw this special sutram, which was the 5.4.87. Even though the Purusha was coming down there, one dvandva compound is stuck in there, that is the ahoratraha. Ahoratraha, we talked about the Sandhi rules, which is 8.2, 68, 69. Ahan padantam will get the ruadeshaha, but ros supi, when supluk takes place, get the refadeshaha. We use those, and then we saw the Vartikam on 8.2.68, when the Ratri, when Rupa, Ratri, Ratantara, when they follow also, we have to do the Ruadesha, not the Refadesha. That's how we got Ahoratraha. And then we also saw this one rule, which specifically said Pumsi. Pumsi was when we doing the Ratra, Ahna, Ratra, Anna, Ha. So Ratra and Ahna and Aha. These we'll see next time. When we see some of these, we're going to see later on. We're only using one part. We use only one part of this today. We only use the Ratra part of it today. Same thing when we used 5.4.87, we only used one part of it today. We only used the Ahan part of it today. Same thing with 5.4.77, we only used few of them today. We're going to come back to these when we look at the other compounds. So the next page, we're going back to the section of the Uttarapade. When the Uttarapadam follows, what happens to this compound? This is a topic of 6.3, which you have, I told you that when you do samasas, you have to keep in mind these two sections, 5.4 and 6.3. 5.4 samasantaha, starting from I think 5.4.68, I think it is. And then 6.3, the entire from the beginning itself, Alug Uttarapade, Uttarapadam follows what happens. So always keep these two sections in mind. Samasantaha, this tadita pratyaya, at the end of the compound, they come in, become part of the pradipadikam. That's the end of the compound. While these operations in 6.3.1, They're talking about what happens to the Pura Padam when the Uttar Padam follows. So now here we have a couple of rules over here, which you are going to see in the book on the next page. On the next page is, so we took a long time for this page. I'm sorry about that, but as I say, we only record one time. So I hope to record it one time as best as we can. That way we can come back and, even if it takes one class or two classes more, once this is done, this is done. We're not going to come back to this again, only for reference. Okay, now irregular Itara Dvandva. So what he says is that when two members end in Ru and denote a blood relation or relationship based on learning, the first changes its final Ru to an Akaraha. The same applies when Putra is preceded by such a noun. So Vakta cha Srota cha Vakta Shrotarau, Mata cha Pita cha Mata Pitarau, Pita cha Putrascha Pita Putarau, but Neta cha Ganta cha Netra Gantarau. Okay, let's look at 6, 3, 25, 26, 27, and 30. So we'll get ready for this. Let's look at this 6, 3, 20. This entire page is going to be basically 6, 3, 25, 26, 27, and so let's look at these and we'll come back to the book. Okay, come back to the book. 6, 3, 25. So Anang Rutodvan, there's a lot of typos here. I'm sorry. So Anang. I think today might be a Sumuhurtam. We're going to start this project, hopefully to edit all these things. One good seva we can do for future students is we need to edit and make them clean, all these texts. So this Kashika, Kamudi, Tattva-bodhini, Nyasa, Padamanjari, someday maybe even Bhavashyam, of course the Shabdenu Shekhara if we can, Vartika Patha if we can. So all these have to be made clear, and the Parivashendu Shekhara, it's a big project. So if we can dedicate ourselves to that, it will be a very good seva we can do for the future students. Because they don't want to look at this one, right? The typo right here, Anang Rita. So Anang is the Adesha. So we are going to start that soon, and hopefully it all takes time and effort. If you can slowly do step by step, and all of us can contribute, that will be a very good seva that we can do. And when we do seva, we learn the most. That's been my experience. When you do seva for the acharyas and for the shastram and for your fellow students, so then that will give you the most knowledge. Even without knowing, you'll get the most knowledge. So anyway, these have to be edited. So there are typos here. So Anang Rito Dvandve. So Rikarantanam Vidyayonis Sambandhavachinam. Anuvritti is coming down here. Vidyayoni Sambandhavachinam. So here in the Vidyayoni Sambandebhya is coming from 23. Okay, 23. So here Vidya really here means like Vedic learning. The Karmapata, when the different priests, when they study different parts of the Veda and then they perform those functions in the yajna or whatever, that's what it means by Vidya. So Vidya yoni sambandha vachinam yo dvandvaha tatra uttarapade. So we have to both ending in the rukarantanam. Both have to end in rukar. That's one condition here. Rukarantanam. Uttarapade purapadasya anangadesha bhavati. Hotru and plus potru. Hotru potru. So hotru potaro. So neshtru udgata. These are all priests. Neshtru udgata rao, and so on. So in the book, what has he given here? In the book, he has given us, I think, one example. He has given here the Vakta Shrotaro. Okay, Vakta Shrotaro. So the teacher and the student, I guess, Vakta Shrotaro. So it's not only the priest, I guess. So Vakta Shrotaro. So it is the teacher, the guru, and the shishya. So it's also Vidya Sambandha. So there also Vidya Sambandha is there. So not only the priest, but also Vidya Sambandha is there also. So let's look at that one. So Vaktru plus Shrotru. Now, okay, let's finish what we brought up in the Kashika. So then he goes on to say that the Yoni Sambandebhya Mata Pitarau, then Yata Nanandarau. These are also these kind of relationships, relationships. So Yata Nanandarau. Nanandru, I think, is your, let me see now, I think it is your husband's sister. Husband's sister, I think, is Nanandru. So these are all relationships, and I may be wrong on that, but I think it is though. So it will be those kind of relationships. So Yata Nanandarau Nanandru Pratipadikam. we'll derive one of them shortly. But look at what he says is that again there is a typo here. Nakarocharanam raparatva nivrityartham, which is the why make the adesha anang? Why not only make it into the adesha? Okay, let's derive one of these. Then we know what we're talking about. So Kashika is saying is that nakar is the typo here. Nakarocharanam raparatva nivrityartham. Okay, so let's go to derivation here, and we appreciate what he's taking. Let's take the book example, which is the vaktru cha. So, okay, vaktru cha, vaktru plus su, plus the, take it, the shrotru, shrotru plus su. So, so let's see, all the conditions satisfied. We have the vidya sambandha. We have both of them ending in a rukaraha. So rukarantana vidya sambandha vachinam yo dvandvaha. So also dvandva compound should be there. Dvandvaha. So if you look at these three, anuvritti will come here. Anang, so dvandve. So sutram itself says, no, anuvritti, sorry. Sutram dvandve in the sutram itself, dvandve. So everything is satisfied. Of course, charte dvandvaha. That is straightforward here. So the teacher and the speaker and the listener means the teacher and student. So now we have of course we can do now the ending rukara vaktru, if it only made the akara adesha, we had uran raparaha. Uran raparaha would have come. That would have spoiled everything. Become vaktar. So in order to avoid uran raparaha, Panini makes the anangadesha. In the anangadesha, we have the anang. So let's go to the next step now. So let's do let's keep it like this. So we will remove this su by the samasascha supo dhatu padipatikayoho. You can put one step over here. So 1246, 2471. Then what we are going to do is that we are going to do the vakt plus the anangadesha, and then make it shrotru. That remains the same, shrotru. Okay. Now in the anangadesha, of course, we have the so this step that we used was 6.325. Anangruto dvandve. Now in anangadesha halantyam upadesha dunanasikait anubandha lope an. So we get the an by of course halantyam and upadesha dunanasikait. So we did that. Now because of nit karanat, because we have no at the end, normally we go to alontyasya, but anekashit sarvasya, then come back to nitya. When you use any adesha, always think of alontyasya. But that has an apavada in anekashit sarvasya. The an is an anekar adesha. The entire vaktru would have gone away. But nitya, that's why Pani puts the nit, the nakara is an it at the end, nitya. So we come back to alontyasya. Thank you, Kalpesh. 153. Anang, so it's in nitya sutram we have used. Let me put that here also in between here. 153. Nitya 153. Now, if we did not have the nakara there, we would have had to use uran raparaha. So then maybe I can put this statement from the Kashika itself here. Correct the typo for you is that in the anangadesha. So in the anangadesha. So anangadesha. So okay, let me do this for you. Let me make this one like this. So nakara ucharanam. Let me correct a typo for you. Correct the typo. Nakara ucharanam. Raparatta nivrityartham, to avoid uran raparaha. So to avoid uran raparaha, Panini has made it as anang and not just an akaraha. If you just made an akara adesha, it would become ar, urandrapara. When you make it the ana adesha, then we don't have to do urandrapara anymore. So it becomes vakta ana. So vaktan, of course, vaktan will get the has the padasanya because of the pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam suptingantam padam, and then we do no lopa prajbadikantasya, no lopa prajbadikantasya. So we're going to end with vakta, and then shrotru, and of course we'll decline that later on. So shrotru, vaktara, shrotru. So what we use is here, we got the padasanya by pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam, because we remember we had the supratyay here, it has taken the look. So pratyay lakshanam, suptingantam padam, then no lopa paribadikantasya, because the nakara, paribadika nakara takes lopa. So that's why it looks like the nakara serves no purpose. It does have a purpose to bypass urandraparaha. And of course we'll decline that. We'll get the form vaktru shrotaro and all that. So vaktara, vaktru cha, vakta cha, shrota cha, ta shrotaro. Shrotaro, of course, we're going to use, then when we decline it, we are going to use this sutram shrotaro, which is the Ruto ni sarvanamsthanayoho. So we're going to use this one. Ruto ni sarvanamsthanayoho. The guna adesha becomes shrotar, and then we use aptrishtran. So 6 is only declension. So shrotaro. That's what the book has given. The book gives us the form which is vakta shrotaro. So here we'll have to, when we decline it, we'll get vakta shrotaro. Just put the numbers here, vakta shrotaro, and this we have got use Rutoni savanamsthanayoho gunadesha aptrishtan iti upadadhirgha. Anuji is back today, so we have to pay her dues, because that is copyrighted by her, the section which is the upadadhirgha, 6411. Okay, so that we got that one. So we have used 6325, which is the vidya sambandha. Same thing, the next is similar steps we can follow, and we can get the next form, which is the matru su plus pitru su mata pitarau. In all these places, try to not to forget the. I'm not reminding the class every time, but try to keep a track of what we learned before with regard to the purunipataha. The purunipataha rule which we saw, which is the Dvandveghi ajadyantam alpashtaram. So when we have vaktru plus shrotru, the I guess there, so shrotru, vaktru, I guess not much to choose from, because but I guess one shrotru has a sanyoga there. See, both have two ach, vaktru, shrotru. And the vaktru, the akara also is a guru, shrotru also is a guru, so I guess either could have gone for. But now they are also, in fact, both of these, I'm glad I brought this up. When the vartikam is that the which is more deserving goes first, which goes first. So abhyarhitam. So that was that which is more, so like mata pitarau, the mother goes first. So if you look at the vartikam, what I'm just going back to remind you, in all these places we can practice these rules. Which one goes first, which one goes second, which one goes first, which one goes second. So here abhyarhitam, arhitam, so puripatati. So mata pitarau. So matru and pitru. In fact, pitru doesn't have the guru aksharam. Guru aksharam pitru doesn't have, so pitru should have gone first. But mata pitarau, because that's the convention. Ladies first works here. So mata pitarau, mother goes before father in the compound. Same thing, vaktru, shrotru, teacher and the student. Teacher will go first, and the student. So these are, anyway, keep looking at these rules. We haven't been, the class, we don't have time to go through them repeatedly, but these rules, which any dvandva samasaha, we have to use dvandveghi Ajajantam, Alpashtaram, with all the Vartikani Alpashtaram, we have to practice those rules. So next example will be just the same that we did. Matru cha, Pitru cha, all the steps are the same as Bhaktru plus Shrotru. Again, this is the Yoni Sambandha. Yoni Sambandhat. Yoni Sambandha. So here coming back to 6325, 6325, 6325, 6325, which is the 6325, which is Rukarantana Vidyavani Sambandha Vachinam Yodyo Dvandvaha Tatra Uttarapade Purapadasya Anangadesho Bhavati. So we saw one Vaktru Shotru Vidya Sambandha, then Matru Pitru is the Yoni Sambandha. Now this one didn't say anything about, now when you say Pitru and Putra, now that doesn't have, the Yoni Sambandha is there, but doesn't end in Rukaraha. Remember, to apply 6325, we need a Rukarantam in both places. So this one, we don't have that. Pita cha, okay, Pita is fine, we have Pitru, and then we have Putrascha, that's not ending in a Rukara. So what we've done is that we take the Anuvritti down by Mandika Plati. Mandika Plati, take Anuvritti down from 6.3, I think it's 23, which is the, 6.3.22, the Putre. Anuvritti of Putre also comes down here, Putre. So even if the Uttara Padam is Putra, then also we can apply 6.3.25. So one more time, 6.3.25 as the Sutram stands requires both each Padam to be Rukarantam. Rukarantam Pradipadikam. Now when you have Pitru cha Putra, so Pita cha Putrascha, Putra is not Rukarantam. So this Anuvritti of Putra is taken down into 6325 Mundaka Prati, means you jump these two and come into here. So unfortunately Putra cannot logically equivalent these two. So you can jump it and make 6325 to get the Ishtarupa Siddhi. So Ishtarupa Siddhi, you have to take Mandaka Prati Jnayena. So Putre iti anuvartate in 6325. Putre also comes in here. In fact, let's see what Kashika says. We can say something. Putre, here it is. Putre ityatra anuvartate. So Putra anuvartate. So Mandika Prati Jnayena. So you take the Putre anuvritti into 6325. 6325, bring the anuvritti of Putre. So now we can also do, even though we don't have Rukar and the Pradipadikam at the second part, so we can still do Pita cha. Again, the same steps will be the same. The Ananga Deshaha, then do the Nitya, and do the Padasanya, Nurva Pradipadikam. So all these steps are going to be the same as before. But the problem here is that we do not have a Rukar and the Pradipadikam as the Uttar Padam. So Pita cha Putrascha. So we want to get the form Pita, Pitru becomes Pita, Pita Putrao, Pita Putrao. So here what we have to do is we will use 6325. So bring Anuvritti of Anuvritti of Putre, from 6322 by Mandika Prati. Mandika Prati means you skip some sutram like a frog jump. So you skip some sutra in between and bring the Anuvritti into the following sutram. Mandika Prati. Mandika Prati Nyayena. Mandika Prati. Okay, Mandika Prati. So that will explain this this form, which is the Pita Putra. So Pita Putra normally you could not do by 6325. But bring in Anuvritti for Pita Putra. Now he gives a counter example, which is the Neta and Ganta. You don't have the Vidya Sambandha, Yoni Sambandha, only become Netru Gantarao. So one more time, 6325 we are using. 25 says that Anangruto Dvandve, Anuvritti of Vidya Yoni Sambandhe, Vidya Yoni Sambandha, Anuvritti is coming down. And then in this Anang Uttarapade, so when the Pura Padam will take the Anangadesha, Anang is being done, Nakara is being used to avoid Urandraparaha, and of course Nitya is coming in there, then you get the Padasanya and do Naluparibadekantasya, and Anuvritti of Putre comes by Mandika Prati into here, So you get Mata Putrao, Pita Putrao. So that's those forms you're going to get like that. When you have Netru and Gantru, we don't have. When you say Samandha, so we only become Netru Gantarao.
So
In time is running out, so yes.
Yeah, the counter example, the sutra is at 6322. Putre anit rasyam is pitru pitamaho. There, the anang is not used, right?
Yes. Okay. So what is the another example which I think okay, let's go to what Vasu was saying. Look at this one 6325, and then I think it's coming over here. Okay, Ruta itikyam pitru pitamaho. So when you have, why does Pani say this in Rukara, both of them? When you have the Pitacha Pitamahascha, Pitacha Pitamahascha, the Pitamaha is ending in Akaraha. So Pitru ending Ruka is fine, Pitamaha is ending in Akaraha. So we're going to get Pitru Pitamahau. So the Pitru will not take the Anangadesha, is what we're saying, because that Pitamaha is not ending in the Rukaraha. Okay, so both are in Rukaraha, except when Putra Anuvritti is coming, that's another one. But otherwise, barring Putra at the Uttarpadam, they have to both end in Rukaraha. Okay, now we are coming to the end of our time today. So let me just give you a gist of these point 2 and 3. So point 2 is saying that when the names of two gods are compounded, the last vowel of the first is changed to A, except when Vayu is one of the two names. And Agni lengthens this final Ikaraha before Soma and Varuna. Basically, these are two rules, again the same section, Uttarapade. So Purapada Sambandhikaryam, when the Purapadam, what happens? And this is a rule which is 6326 and 27, 26, 27. So what it says is that Devata Vachinam Yo Dvandvaha. It's a Dvandva which is Devata Vachina, names of two gods. Tatra Uttarapade, when Uttarapadam follows, then Purapadasya Anangadesha Bhavati. Very simple sutram. When you have the names of two gods compounded, then the Purapadam will take the Anangadesha. And the example is Indrascha Varunascha Indra Varunau. Indrascha Varunascha Indra Varunau. Indrascha Varunascha Indra Varunau. So very straightforward. I think we can do it like this. Okay, Indra. Okay, Indra plus Su. Indra plus Su plus Varuna. Sorry, plus Varuna plus Su. Plus Varuna plus Su. Indrascha Varunascha. So we use Chate Dvandvaha. Now we can skip some steps and do the Supluk as usual. And then we'll get the Anangadesha. So what we'll now get is that we will get in Dra plus the Anang. So An plus Varuna. Plus Varuna. So the condition, both are Devatas, and so we can apply 6326, 6326. And of course before that we applied Kutta Samasascha. I think from the next class we won't mention this anymore. This 1246, after a couple of classes, this 1246 and 2477, we will not mention them anymore. We'll go ahead with those. And 6326, and even there also we have used the Anangadesha. We use Nitcha. So Indra, Varuna, then decline it. Then we have to use the Padasanya by Patte Lope Patte Lakshanam, Suptingantam Padam, and after that use no lopa Pradipadikantasya, So become Indra Varuna will become final form. Indra Varuna. Nakara will go away, Indra Varuna, then decline it, become Indra Varunau. So now what does this we'll continue next time. We'll just read this Kashika and leave you with that. Now it says now becomes Indra Somau, Indra Brahaspati. Now Dvandve iti vartamane punar dvandva grahanam. So why does Panini mention Dvandva again in this sutram? Because it says Devata Dvandve cha. So So what then he says is that prasiddha sahacharyartham, only those gods who are go together, who are well known to go together, only for those the sutra will apply. Atyanta sahacharite loka vijñate dvandvam. So when all these gods are coupled together and they go together, loka vijñate, this is nothing grammar, but you have to understand from the usage in the language or from the custom, Vedic custom, that these gods go together, then only nipatyate. So tattva ye loke prasiddha sahacharyaha. So in the Laukikas, they are well known to go together. Vede cha sahavapa nirdishtaha. When you offer an oblation to these gods together, in the Veda, when there's a vidhanam will we do all this next time? I'm just giving you a brief view, and we can stop in 2 minutes now. So when you in the Vedas, when you give the havis to these gods together, tesham yah grahanam bhavati. So tena, because of that constraint, Brahma Prajapati, maybe type of Brahma Prajapati. They did not get the Ananga, they didn't become Brahma. Brahma Prajapati. Brahma and Prajapati, these are not, either offer oblations together in the Veda, nor are they, well known as a couple to go together. Shiva Vaishravanau, so Shiva and I think Kubera. So these are also the same thing here. They are not well known to go together in the world, nor are they, in the Laukika sense, nor do they, are oblations together. So ityevam adav na bhavati. Now comes, this is the Vyakhyanam / Vartikam. Ubhayatra vayoho pratishedo vaktavyaha. If one of them is Vayu, then this rule doesn't apply at all. Ubhayatra. So where Vayu is Uttarapadam or Vayu is Purapadam, this will not become, this rule Anang will not take place. So Agni Vayu didn't become Agna, become Agni Vayu, Agni Vayu. Then Vayu Agni, same thing. Whether it is a Purapadam or whether it is Uttarapadam, it doesn't matter. When Vayu is involved in the compound, then you will not get this, you will not get the Anangadesha. I think if I am not mistaken, at the beginning of Agna, Vishnu, Sajosha, Sema, Vardhantu, Vangiraha, Chamaka Prashna, the very first Agna Vishnu. So in fact, this very first word of the Chamaka Prashna, Agna Vishnu, Sajosha, Sema, Vardhantu, Vangiraha. Yeah, that's the one, Agna Vishnu. So good example, the very first word of the Chamaka Prashna. Okay, and now we're going to stop here. Let me go in the book and give you this. So the next sutram talks about what happens with the Agni. Agni takes the Iyadesha. We'll do in the next class. We'll do that. So let me just put this in the example here. Good example is Agna Vishnu Sajosha Sema Vardhantu Vangiraha. Agna Vishnu. Vishnu. This is in the first word of the Chamaka Prashna. Chamaka Prashnasya Prathamam Padam. The Chamaka Prashna. So this is the Chamaka Prashna. Agna Vishnu. So here also the Anangadesha. So this is coming by 6.3.26, which is Devata Dvandvecha. Okay. So let's stop here. So for next time, what we'll do is that we will. So this one we just talked about. We'll do it again next time. 6.3.26. The two gods being compounded, Mitra Varunau, but then Agni Shomau, Agni Varunau. So he says except Vayu. That's what I just told you, that this Agni Shomau, Agni Varunau are going to be in the 6.3.27, and then these next three, Stri Chapumasha, Stri Pumsau, Rukcha Samacha, Ruksame, Vakcha Manascha, Vang Manase. If any of you chant the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, very first line. So Atita Panthanam, Tavacha Mahima, Vang Manasayo. But I forgot to mention to you in this 5.4.77, the Y is taken separately over here. The prior page he was talking about the Samahara Dvandva, and now these are Itaritara Yoga. So he's talking about the So that's why I put them, even though these are also 5477 on the prior page. We're talking about samahara. Now we're talking about the itartara yoga. So these three, cha pumamscha rupcha samacha and vang manasa, this comes in Shiva Mahimna Stotram. Very first line, vang manasa yoho, vang manasa yoho. Also I forgot to mention is that in 5477 you have this word nishreyasa. Nishreyasa karavubhav. This is not a dvandva compound, so we didn't talk about today, but nishreyasa comes in Bhagavad Gita. So next time you chant Bhagavad Gita, here is the word nishreyasa. Nishreyasa comes in Bhagavad Gita. Tayosus karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. I know we're out of time, but I wanted to mention that earlier in the class, which I forgot, is in chapter 3. So next time you chant the Gita, please look at this word, which is nishreyasa. Nishreyasa karavubhav. Tayosu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. Which is this one. Sannyasa lokis nivsa nishtha. No, maybe in chapter 5 then. Excuse me, chapter 5. Yeah, nishreyasa karavubhav. Here it is. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa karavubhav. So when you chant Gita next time, when you chant this sloka number 2 of chapter 5, immediately chant this sutram, achatura, vichatura, suchatura, stripumsa, and so on, so on. So Gita example and is 5 good example in Gita. Good example in Gita for good example. But this is not a dvandva samasa, so we won't go in details today. But 77 is verse 5.2. Nishreyasa karavubhav. Nishreyasa karavubhav. And then the last thing we already did in the book, we already did these two, which is the this Joscha Prithvi, which is 6.330. We'll do next time 6.330. And Jayapati, we already Jampati, Dampati, we already did in the prior class. Okay. Okay. So Ramo Rajamani Sada. And try to do the homework. Homework next time. Please do homework. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Raso Asmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Hundamti. How are we doing, Vasu? Okay.